Welcome back to Character Conversions, where I try to bring fictional characters to life in D&D. I could have sworn that I received a request for the abridged version of Alucard somewhere. While I can't find who asked, here it is anyway. The Crimson Fucker. All stats will be used in the standard array of the player's handbook. Strength will be 10, I would have put the 8 here, but I decided I wanted to be at least equal in strength to that Catholic sociopath Alexander Anderson, even if we primarily use ranged attacks. Dexterity is 13, we use guns after all. Constitution will be 14, we need to be able to take quite the beating, and Intelligence will be 8. Had to go somewhere, and I don't think we need to be too knowledgeable after all, that is what briefings are for. Wisdom is 12, we are strong-willed, and finally Charisma is 15, we are intimidating as hell, and this will be our primary stat. For race, Alucard is obviously human turned vampire, so the closest we can get to this is damn fear. We'll put the +2 in our Charisma for a 17 and raise our Dexterity to a 14 with a +1. I like to homebrew it that we count as both humanoid and undead, but that's not official. Our base speed is 35 feet, we gain dark vision out to 60 feet. Ancestral Legacy grants us proficiency with 2 skills of our choice. We'll be picking up Athletics to make up for our low strength score, and History to represent our long life. As an additional language, let's pick up Celestial for any holy text we might come across. Our deathless nature makes it so we don't need to breathe. We have a natural spider climb ability, giving us a climbing speed equal to our walking speed, and at 3rd level we're able to move up and down and across vertical surfaces, and upside down along ceilings while leaving our hands free. Finally, we have a Vampiric Bite. It deals 1d4 piercing damage, and we can add our Constitution modifier to attack and damage rolls. We can have advantage on this bite attack if we are missing half or more of our hit points. When we bite a creature that isn't a construct or an undead, we may also empower that bite in one of 2 ways. We can either regain HP equal to the damage dealt by the bite, or gain bonus on our next ability check, or attack roll equal to the damage of the bite. We are able to do this a number of times per long rest equal to our proficiency modifier. If you can convince your GM to allow it, maybe add in the effect from Planeshift Zendikar. Vampires in that source turn humans into zombies when they kill them with their bites. Sounds a whole lot like Hellsing to me. For background, we'll pick up Far Traveler. I don't know about how far physically we have roamed, but we have definitely traveled far through time and seen much. This gives us insight and perception of skill proficiencies. We are proficient in one musical instrument or gaming set of our choice. Because this is abridged Alucard, pick up the most annoying instrument you can think of, like bagpipes. We gain 1 language. We'll pick up Infernal for the other end of Holy Text Spectrum. And finally, we gain the All Eyes on You feature, meaning we tend to stick out in a crowd, but because of this, nobles and other local officials may be willing to meet with us to hear where we are from. We received our powers by making a deal with the devil, so we are definitely a warlock. This gives us a d8 hit die, proficiency with light armor and simple weapons, proficiency with wisdom and charisma saves, and for skills we will be choosing intimidation and religion. At 1st level, we select our patron. There are several choices that would work for Alucard, but for our build, we shall choose the Undying Patron. This gives us Among the Dead ability, granting us the Spare the Dying cantrip, our representation for how we first saved Ceres' life, and we have advantage on saving throws against any disease. Additionally, now whenever an undead targets us directly with an attack or a harmful spell, that creature must make a wisdom save or be forced to select a new target. Success and they are immune to this effect for 24 hours, but they are immune if we attack them. Pact Magic grants us 1 level 1 spell slot, 2 cantrips, and 2 1st level spells. For cantrips, we will select Eldritch Blast. We'll flavor this as being fired from our hand crossbow or firearm, whatever we are using. And with this as infinite ammo, we effectively now have Schrodinger's magazines. Our second cantrip will be Friends to represent a minor version of Alucard's ability to influence minds. Repeat after me. White Chicks was amazing. Our 1st level spell will be Hex and Arms of Hadar. Hex will increase our damage in single combat, and Arms of Hadar will allow us to strike at everyone within 10 feet of us for 2d6 necrotic damage. At 2nd level, we gain 2 Eldritch Invocations. Our first choice will be Agonizing Blast. This will add our Charisma modifier to the damage of our Eldritch Blast. Our second will be Fiendish Vigor, allowing us to cast False Life at will at 1st level. We now have 5 to 8 temporary hit points at all times, and being able to constantly cast this for free can represent Alucard's regeneration. We also gain an additional 1st level spell, of which we will be choosing Hellish Rebuke, to make sure anyone who gets a lucky shot in on us instantly regrets it. 3rd level is where we truly get to start looking like the Crimson Fucker. We switch over to Bard. This gives us a d8 hit die. For our skill, we will choose Acrobatics to make sure we can tie an effective Constrictor knot. We gain another instrument proficiency. Pick the second most annoying instrument you can think of, like more bagpipes. We gain proficiency with simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short swords. 1st level grants us Bardic Inspiration. Now as a bonus action, we can grant another creature within 60 feet a d6 Bardic Inspiration die. They can add this d6 to any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw in the next 10 minutes. We can use a number of these equal to our charisma modifier, and they replenish after a long rest. Now it may seem odd that we would have such a supportive ability, but I point you back to the first episode, while Ceres is trying to snipe the escaping vampire. Alucard is pushing and prodding her with his annoying words. This is him granting her bardic inspiration. Even though he seemed to be distracting her, she did take the shot and hit the vampire. Our spellcasting first grants us 2 cantrips. We will take Message and Vicious Mockery. Vicious Mockery should be self-explanatory. We can really get under people's skin. Message is because we have to have some kind of telepathic connection with Ceres. Our 4 first level spells will be taking Charm Person, Command, Cure Wounds, and Featherfall. Charm Person to further strengthen our vampiric powers and also to kick Chevy Chase out because he's an asshole. Similar reason for Command, Cure Wounds will mostly be used on ourselves for regeneration purposes, and Featherfall is because we are an anime character and need to be able to survive falls from great heights. Second level bards gain Jack of all trades, allowing us to add half our proficiency bonus to ability checks we're not proficient in. We also gain Song of Rest. Now we can increase healing during short rests by 1d6. Finally, we gain another first level spell, of which we will choose Disguise Self, allowing us to change our form when we want to relive the Blitz in London. 5th level, and our 3rd level in Bard means we now choose our Bard College. We'll be going with the College of Valor, so we can make sure we can fight alongside our allies as well as annoy them to greatness. We gain proficiency with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons. Combat Inspiration makes it so our inspiration die can be added to damage rolls as well as attack rolls. It can also be spent as a reaction to add the result to your AC against an attack. Next we gain Expertise and 2 skills of our choice. We will go with Intimidation and Perception. Intimidation because we are a fuck-mothering vampire, and Perception because we have eyes for days. We get our first 2nd level spell this level as well. To ensure we get all the information we need out of Dandy Dick, we will pick up Detect Thoughts. 4th level of Bard grants us an ability score improvement. We will trade this for the feat Gunner. We increase our dexterity by +1 to a 15, we gain proficiency with firearms, ignoring their loading property, and now being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage on our ranged attack rolls. If your GM isn't allowing guns, you can take the Crossbow Expert, but if you can, take Gunner anyway for the +1 to dexterity, and your gun really only needs to be a spell focus to fire your Eldritch Blast from. We gain an additional cantrip this level. Let's pick up Mage Hand. It can be flavored as one of his Dark Tendrils, increasing our reach. Our 2nd level spell this level, of course, will be Animal Messenger. With this, we can deliver our death threats to the Pope by carrier pigeon, no less. They'll just fly right into the Vatican. 7th level sees us increasing our Bardic Inspiration die to a d8. And with the Font of Inspiration, we now regain all of our expended Bardic Inspiration when we finish a short rest. For our first 3rd level spell, we will pick up Fear, for when our Intimidation skill just isn't enough. 8th level, College of Valor grants us extra attack. Now when we take the attack action, we can make 2 attacks instead of 1. But we have been shooting 2 blasts with Eldritch Blast for 3 levels now, so this is a bit late to the party. Next we gain Counter Charm. As an action we can give ourselves and allies within 30 feet of us advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed. The wild geese did say things were less scary when we were around. For our 3rd level spell, we will pick it up Sending, to ensure we can still guide our Draculina even when we are stuck out at sea. 9th level is just a 4th level spell for us. We will grab Dimension Door to represent our vampiric speed if we need to in a pinch. We can even bring our master along if need be. 10th level we gain another ability score improvement. We will trade this for another feat, this time for Shadow Touch from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. This increases our charisma by +1 to an 18. We learn the invisibility spell and 1 illusion or necromancy spell of our choice. We will choose Inflict Wounds as a counterpart to our Cure Wounds spell. We can heal damage and dish it out the same way. This feat allows us to cast each one for free each long rest, and we can also use our spell slots for them if need be. For our 4th level spell, I was torn between Freedom of Movement and Greater Invisibility. We'll be going with Freedom of Movement primarily due to not requiring concentration. Thematically, I really like the idea of us escaping being restrained by turning into a cloud of bats and reforming. At 11th level, our Song of Rest increases to a d8, and we gain our first 5th level spell. We will choose Dominate Person to show our mastery of our mind control abilities. At 12th level, our Bardic Inspiration die increases to a d10. Then we gain Expertise and another 2 skills of our choice. We will choose Insight and Religion. We gain an additional cantrip this level. Let's pick up True Strike for any particularly long-range shots. 10th level of Bard means we gain Magical Secrets, allowing us to choose 2 spells from other classes. We will take Gaseous Form and Vampiric Touch, both 3rd level spells for Warlocks. Gaseous Form is a traditional power for vampires, and Vampiric Touch has vampire in the name, so it seems appropriate. 13th level grants us our first 6th level spell. We have eyes for days, so we will be picking up True Seed. 14th level is another ability score improvement. We will trade this for a feat again. Dexterity is our only odd ability score, so for any feat that allows us to increase that by 1 is what we want here. For this build, we'll be going with Resilient. This increases our dexterity to a 16 and gives us proficiency with dexterity saves. While Alucard doesn't really dodge attacks, being able to take half damage on some things will help us look like we take more punishment than we actually can. At 15th level, our Song of Rest die will increase to a D10, followed by our first 7th level spell. Shouldn't take too much guesswork to know we'll be picking up Regenerate. Now it takes a minute to cast, but it lasts for an hour and doesn't require concentration. It heals 48 plus 15 initially, and then 1 hit point each round. That 1 hit point might not seem like much, but every hit can count when you're trying to play as the unkillable Alucard. At 16th level, we gain the final ability of Valabard, Battle Magic. Now when we use our action to cast a Bard spell, we can make 1 weapon attack as a bonus action. Next we gain an additional 2 magical secrets. We will pick up the 3rd level cleric spell, Spirit Guardians. In my previous build, I mentioned how this was a decent way to represent releasing some of the spirits you have inside you. Next, grab Widowgas Transmogrification. After using Spare the Dying on Ceres, we need a way to turn her into a vampire like us. At 17th level, our Bardic Inspiration die increases for the last time, becoming a D12. And for our 8th level spell, we will be taking the ultimate and mind control, Dominate Monster. 18th level is our final ability score improvement. We will not be trading this for a feat, instead dropping it all into our Charisma, capping it at 20. At 19th level, our Song of Rest increases for the final time, becoming a D12, and for our first 9th level spell, we will be grabbing True Polymorph. I don't know about you, but I like the idea of turning myself into a Planetar and claiming that at some point in my long life I drank the blood of an angel. 20th level, we gain our final instance of Magical Secrets, a worthy capstone for this build. We will take Storm of Vengeance, a 9th level druid spell, allowing us to cover a 720-foot area in a violent storm with various effects. This spell is, to my knowledge, the best representation of releasing a level 0 restraint and going for a walk. Our final spell will of course be Wish, a 9th level wizard spell. There are some effects we can't seem to capture with Alucard, but this should be able to cover all those bases with the ability to replicate any spell of 8th level or lower, and in some cases create custom effects. How did we spread our influence over an entire battleship and bring it into harbor? Wish could probably cover that for us. End result, we have an AC of 16 with a mage armor, and 133 hit points. Once again, a bit low for my taste, but we can constantly replenish temporary hit points with infinite castings of False Life, and we have access to Cure Wounds, Regenerate, and Vampiric Touch to keep healing ourselves. Eldritch Blast will average 10 damage with each blast, 40 on a single target. Hex can increase the average to 14 per blast, and 56 with single targeting. Abridged Alucard is ironically a bit more of a team player than baseline Alucard with Bardic Inspiration. We can really disrupt our enemies with spells like Fear, Vicious Mockery, and the whole array of Dominate spells. Overall, this build I think really gets the job done to let us become the Crimson Fucker. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment your opinions or suggestions for new builds. I hope all your 20s are natural, and see you next time.